How many of y'all excited about Love Series? The rest of y'all single and unhealed. or you're in a marriage and y'all hate each other. Y'all like, ugh. Y'all, there is nothing in this world worse than being in a relationship and it being so toxic that when you walk in your house, look, y'all already getting stiff in your neck. There ain't nothing in this world worse than being so unhealed from past relationships that you walk around bleeding on people that didn't cut you. The greatest gift I ever taught myself through God and His Word was realizing that the pain may not be my fault, but the healing, is my responsibility. So you know what that does? It takes you from being able to point fingers at other people. Because there's always something to learn. Never does God waste your hell. So wherever you are, how many of y'all feel like that you can't get a leg up in relationships? Lift up your hands. Like you feel like I just can't win. I can't, come on, lift it. It's a lot of women. A lot of women. So you know what that tells me? We cray. Like we can birth humans out of our bodies, but we can't let stuff go. Like you want to come into a relationship and you're like, tell me about every person you ever dated. And while he's telling you, you're like, did you love her as much as you love me? That boy, like, it was different. And you get mad and you start slamming cabinets. Women, we gotta do better. So last year, coming into, thank you, Teddy. He gonna hang with me because we're doing Love and Lyrics this whole month. And y'all know this whole month I'm coming with some heat because I got this. Baby, stand up, let them see how fine you are. Come on, baby. Baby, you know you want the light. You know you want to show how fine you is. That's my good thing. Look at him. Look. He said, see me outside. So me and him were talking about yesterday, because I always practice preaching on him. And we were talking about how when we came into each other's lives, how we both glowed up. Like everything changed. Like y'all know my track record. I mean, we know that I had some hard-headed lessons that I needed to learn in relationships. And last year, for the last 10 years, I've really been on this journey of learning Kim, where I realized that I had a bad picker. And never one time did I stop and ask God, is this really who you have for me? And so the last time that I walked through it, it was in front of the whole world. I found out with the whole world. And I remember sliding down my door in my house like this. And I heard the Lord say, get up. You get up and begin to fix you. Because relationships are my idea. Because one will put 1,000 to flight, but two will put 10,000 to flight. And the reason the enemy is so after relationships is because I have discovered this last year being with this fine brother, that when you get somebody that loves you right, when you are lovable, you get somebody that loves you right, they'll help you unpack baggage. Because you don't really know areas that you need to heal in until you get in another relationship. I remember when we first started dating, and I'm loving this whole month because I can really preach this month because I got a lot to say because I'm walking it. But I remember in the first month of us dating that I had an old behavior pop up that I had always had when it came to relationships. I shut down. And I would just shut down and I could preach. Communication kills assumption. But when I found myself in this place, I would shut down. And I remember Lo came to me and he said, I love you so much and I'm not going anywhere, but I need you to fix this. So I'm gonna go home, see you in about 24 hours. If Jesus got up in 3 days, then you're going to get up in one. But you're going to come out a different person. Because nobody comes into this world wanting to bleed on people that didn't cut them, but we're afraid of really letting our guards down. How many feel like you have a trust issue? Come on, a trust issue. That's where the enemy gets us. And then what we do is we start blowing it on other people because we continue to get in these relationships without healing. And then we get in these relationships without healing, and it's the same spirit with different faces. And so we find ourselves in a cycle. And then before we know it, I ain't never getting married again. Whoever said that in here? Come on. I ain't never getting married again. I ain't never get married again. And so what happens? You never get married again, but you live together. Because you're afraid that the paper is going to mess something up because it did in the last relationship. But what God is saying in this season, you can't be connected to me for starters and not have a relationship that's like, our lyric today is, what do y'all think our lyric today is? Love song, what y'all think it is? Come on, somebody guess. Huh? Oh, beautiful. That's the first song my baby sent me from Drew Hill. But that ain't it. You know what it is? Hello? Is it me you're looking for? Look, I even got the lyrics. Listen. Hello? You got me, Teddy. You got me, Boo. Hi. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? 'Cause I wonder where you are. And I wonder what you do. Are you somewhere feeling lonely? I messed it up. He's dying. He's dying right now on the keyboard. Or is someone loving you? Tell me how. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna make no fool of myself, but I want to. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? Oh. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. You're the real MVP, baby. Yes. Because he knows he's my king. Baby. You get the right person in your life and you make them. Y'all know how quiet he was. Now he like, as soon as I said, I can see it, he went, I want to make sure everybody knows you mine, girl. Come on, what we doing? Where we going? But listen to these words, y'all. Listen to these words. 'Cause I wonder where you are and I wonder what you do. Are you somewhere feeling lonely or is someone loving you? Tell me how to win your heart. I can hear it. Teddy, I can hear it. I sound so good. Listen, tell me how to win your heart, for I haven't got a clue. But let me start by saying, I love you. Sometimes when you find yourself in a place where you are scared to death to step out and let someone love you well, sometimes all you need is, I love you. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I still got some baggage that I'm carrying, but if you just walk with me in this, it's learning how to communicate through the valleys of life. Blending families. Anybody blended families up in here? Tell me how it's working. Look, tell me again. Say it, brother. That's all you gotta say. Woo! Blended families are another way the enemy will try to keep you from excelling in life. Because you got to bring these kids into another relationship, then you ain't gonna let that new husband tell him, these ain't your kids. And then you put your husband on the back burner because they were there first. And so the enemy is coming all up in y'all's business, trying to make sure y'all don't go to Punta Cana on vacation, just you and him. Because there's so much tension in your relationship that you can't even lay in bed together. Delilah and Samson are perfect proof of disgruntled, definitely people that should not have got married. But yet he was so enticed by Delilah. And she was sent by the enemy to take his anointing. 3 times that, brother, women, you tell me you ain't got no power. You got so much power, woman, to push that baby out of your body is somewhere nothing should come out of. But you also got the power to walk in that house. But see, we women get angry, we get mad. We start getting resentful. You need to be quiet, or you're gonna have some counseling with me. Okay? Just be quiet. I'm gonna have so much marriage counseling I have to do this week. I'm gonna have to get Shauna Sharita. You just need to be quiet. Be quiet. What happens is we get to a place, I'm just kidding, I love me some of you. We get to, but you do need to be quiet. We get to a place, your wife is gonna be texting me after church, well, because we women, seriously, women wanna be protected. We wanna feel like you got our back. That's what I love about this man. You ain't messing. We were going in the Sky Lounge the other day at Delta, and this man said at the door, he said, I just don't want y'all to get trampled. He looked at me and he was, he ain't gonna trample me. He for sure ain't touching her. I was like, yeah. There ain't nothing in this world like getting in a relationship and being healthy enough to submit your tail. It takes both of y'all submitting. I used to think I was the gift. I am. Thank you. But instead of fixing my relationships, I would get an attitude. And then I'd be like, I'm gonna show you. Always have to have the last word. When all you gotta do when you're in a relationship is suck it up, buttercup. Stop letting pride ruin relationships. Blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the seat of the sinner, nor sit in the seat of the scornful. For your delight is in the law of the Lord, and in your law you meditate day and night. You are like a tree planted by the rivers of living water. That's saying, I don't care what we go through in life, I got you. This is for relationships, friendships. When you are sold out to the cause, y'all look at Ruth. We do not read the chapter in the Bible, Orpah. That was the other daughter that walked out on Naomi after the husbands died. Y'all remember that story? Does anybody know that story? So there was Naomi. She lost her husband and her 2 sons. Her sons were married to Orpah and Ruth. She was too old to give these girls any more husbands. So it was just, you know, she's like, y'all go. You too young. Go get you some new husbands. Orpah was like, peace out, child. But Ruth said, no, I'm staying here. She did not understand the season that she was in, like a lot of y'all in your relationships. You're gonna go through ebb and flows. You're gonna go through things that you don't understand at that job. You're gonna go through things you don't understand in your marriage. But if you stayed planted, if she would not have stayed in place, you know she was so tired of Naomi's mouth. Naomi was so heartbroken at the death that she literally changed her name from Naomi, which meant joy, to Mara, which meant bitter. And Ruth stayed. So when you can put your feet planted and said, I'm fighting holding hands. I'm gonna fight through this season, and I know that God's gonna bring me out of this season with some anointing on my life that is gonna shake the world. So I'm not gonna look at how bad things are. Because Ruth stayed in position when she didn't want to, she got blessed. She went and started working in a field. She was there just to get food. She was not twerking. She was working. And she had her eyes focused on, I'm gonna work in this season so that my mother-in-law can eat. I don't know what God's gonna do, but while she was busy staying focused, even when her mother-in-law was mean as a snake, walking through a season that she didn't understand. Because of that, we are reading a chapter out of the Bible named Ruth, because she stayed planted. Y'all know how many people told Ruth, girl, you crazy. Like other people do in your relationships. When people have opinions in your relationships, it's because they're jealous. Unless they're family. I wish to God I would have listened to my daddy. But not really, because I wouldn't have my kids. But I allowed so many people in my ear that I allowed people to dictate where I was going. And that's how the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. The Bible says in Isaiah 54, it says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. But so often we pick the weapon up and use it on ourselves. Attitudes, pride. If we would divorce pride, do you know how many relationships would work? I really began to focus in the last January. I was like, I got all this stuff in my life. I am so blessed, but this sister is alone. I can't sleep with my Birkin bags. My truck gonna be cold when I get in it. There ain't nobody to lay in my bed with me and enjoy going on vacations with me. It ain't that I got a problem getting men, because y'all can tell I can get them. But I couldn't keep them. I couldn't keep them. And I began to lay hands on myself every night. And I would say, God, fix me. My mother was married for 52 years. My daddy died 3-4 years ago. And as he's dying, she's leaning over him and saying, baby, serving you for the last 52 years is the greatest assignment of my life. And I remember listening to my mother saying that, and I began to say, I don't know if I'd have ever said that. Hence the reason I'm single. And so I began to lay hands on myself last year, and I made a point. I was intentional about getting friends around me, because you gotta prophesy where you want to go. You can't keep hanging out with the loudmouth, chunky butt. I don't need no man. Y'all all fly and snatch, but alone. You got to get around some women. You got to get around some men, sir. Get off the video games. You're old. Y'all 60. Women, get your mouth tamed. I ain't got no money for no date night. Get you a blanket. Get you some fruit. Put your kids in bed. Get them out of the middle of you and your husband. You hear me? Turn you on some Lionel Richie. Hello? Get your sexy back. Get you some marshmallows. Get you some chocolate. Get you some fruit at Aldi's. You can buy all that for about $10. And when that man walks in that house, or that woman, and men, you need to do this too. It ain't just a woman's place. You want relationship to work, you got to begin to cultivate it. And you got to lay hands on yourself every day and say, Lord, if I am resentful, get it out of me. Do you hear me? Mimi told me, she said, for the longest time, Kim, I resented your father because your father didn't pray over me. And I always thought that if they don't pray, they can't stay. And she said, one day I'm talking to God, and God showed me, your husband preaches all over the world. Pray for yourself. Pray for your husband. So a lot of times, because you're bent on how you think something should be, you're messing up your whole relationship, and you're going to be single. Who's going to wipe your butt when you're old? You need people in your life, whether it is good girlfriends or it is good guy friends. I got me 4 of the greatest women ever last year. They've always been my friend, but I became intentional. I got Creflo and Taffy Dollar. They've been married 39 years. I got Dr. Dee and Dr. Mike Freeman. They've been married 40. I got Jewel Tankard and Ben. We go on vacations together throughout the year, me and these girls. And I started watching them. I'd be sitting at that table, and they wouldn't even care that I was sitting there. And they get on FaceTime with their bow chicka wow wows. And as soon as they would get on FaceTime, Dr. Dee and Dr. Mike would just sit and go, you're so fine. Their faces this close on the FaceTime. Then you got Jewel that turns into a straight baby. Oh my, I can't wait to see you in 24 hours. I'm like, y'all been married forever. But But what God was doing was he was beginning to show me what a relationship healthy can look like. You got to cultivate your own relationships, but you also got to get around some people that are killing the game. Because relationships, you ain't always going to be in love. There's going to be some times that it ain't, he just wanting to play that. You ain't always going to have it all peaches and cream in your house. That's why you got to know how to lay hands on your house. You got to get you some Crisco. Get you some hair oil, peppermint oil. Get it and lay hands on that thing. And say, Father, I'm about to anoint my house. Hello, War Room. Did y'all watch War Room? Y'all should definitely watch War Room this year, this week, during this whole series. And you lay hands on that oil and say, Father, I'm about to go through this house and anoint everything in this house. And then I'm going to open the door and tell the devil and all his stupid little spirits to get out of my house. You ain't taking my marriage. You ain't taking my kids. They may not come together right now. It still may be a little rocky, but I will not give up on you. I got your back. I got your front. I got your side. I got your bottom. And y'all listen to me. You're all worthy of a great life like this. I don't care what you did. When I began to look at myself and realize all my finger pointing, there was 3 more pointing back at me. I stopped praying for God to kill him with a train. And I started saying, God, let me forgive so that I can get healed in a place where I can have, I didn't even have good girlfriends. I didn't even have friends. If I would have died, nobody would have come to my funeral. I'd have definitely not had no Facebook memorial page. Because I didn't know how to be loved appropriately, even by friends. And then I had these lists. How many of y'all got a list? Y'all scared of me, ain't you? Because you know y'all lying. Y'all got this list and you got so much oil on that list, but you ain't one thing on that list. I had this list and I heard the Lord say, rip it up. And you begin to become the best person that you can be, and I'm gonna bring the best person in your life. Because you attract what you are, not what you want. Give yourself 3 months. Work on it. Go to therapy. We got incredible marriage counseling here. Don't be getting married without finding out how y'all gonna handle money. Are we gonna be in a budget? You gonna try to tell me what to do? Do I gotta call you every time I wanna buy shoes? You gotta talk about these things. How are we raising the kids? Do you want kids? Right? So listen to what my scripture is. Y'all ready for this? It says I knew this was gonna be a good series this month. Proverbs 19:21. I wanna do a lot of weddings. And I've been praying for a lot of men to come in. I've been praying for my single women to get married. We need parking lot workers. We need security. We need some men. We need some testosterone up in this house. Amen. I even got some strong, look, somebody just said I got under 10 minutes. Kim, preach. Proverbs 19:21 says, y'all ready for this? Y'all get anything out of it? This is like TED Talk for Jesus. Proverbs 19:21 says, you can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. You can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. Here's the cool thing about God. He loves to take broken things and make masterpieces. Do you hear me? Sometimes God wrecks your plans because your plans are about to wreck you. So he'll let you hit rock. I need to say that again. Huh? Did you catch that? To go over your head. Sometimes God will wreck your plans when he sees your plans are about to wreck you. Every loss ain't a loss. But here's how God works. Here's how I love it when y'all are like, girl, you ain't lying. Preach, Cal. Here's what I love about God. He knew before you were ever even formed in your mother's womb that you were going to be yourself. And guess what? He loves your loud self. He loves your too much self. But sometimes we just gotta sharpen it. Because we can walk around saying, this is me, take it or leave it. Who says that? And you're still single. This is me, take it or leave it. They leaving it. They leaving it. Then you get in relationships with some people, they like, I ain't changing for nobody. And y'all still marrying them. Because somebody that won't change for you, because that's what relationship is about. We got to grow together. They're going to ask you to bend like crazy for them. And then it's going to be very toxic and you're going to be very angry. Now, if you're in this room or watching online, don't you dare go to your husband or wife and say, Pastor Kim said I could divorce you. Because you got to fight. It's a commitment, a covenant, but it ain't convenient. Commitment, covenant, but it ain't convenient. When you marry the right person, submission just flows. You hear me? You ever seen I've seen so many people on social media that are drop dead gorgeous and single. Millionaires. But somewhere in our minds through social media and our culture, it says that a woman can't be an alpha female, strong businesswoman, killing it, making millions of dollars and get a man. Because you intimidate them. That is not true. You are single because you are not desirable. Because somewhere in your head, you have told yourself, ain't nobody gonna like me because I'm just a lot, and they're intimidated by me. God created you with the business sense to be a millionaire, and he also created you to desire a relationship. Now, some of y'all are like, I don't ever want to get married. You ain't never got to get married. It's okay. But when you get to a place where you begin to look at vision further, you don't look at today. You look at where you want to go. You want to go to Punta Cana by yourself? You want to go to Dominican Republic and enjoy it all-inclusive by yourself? You don't want nobody to sing, hello, is it me you're looking for? I don't need no man. You know everything inside of you wants a big old burly man. Wow! Walking up behind you saying, baby, bound chicken, wow, what's your name? Because God created us like that. So if you're in a season where you're like, I ain't never getting married again, it's because you're not healed. Mimi is killing it at 76 years old. She got mint. Stand up, Mimi. Show them how snatched you are. 76 where? 76 where? Y'all look at this fine woman, 76. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Boom shaka. Like boom. Blowing it up. And every time I'm on live, because I'm in love, I want everybody to be in love. I'm like, y'all, this year is not a year for girlfriend. You are a wifey. I want everybody to get a wifey status. And Mimi's like calling me afterwards. Every time you say that, that's the stupidest thing. I do not want to be a wifey. Because she ain't ready. But when she get ready, God gonna bring her a nice chocolate bar. I'm just kidding. She does, if any of y'all have a dad, she would like a tall man. All right, tall, no belly. We don't want no big bellies. We can't even okay. Like, yo, you got to take care of yourself. Do you hear me? You got to take care of yourself. So you don't got to be like this. Okay, so here's, let me get to it. How do you strengthen connections? Y'all get anything out of this? Y'all, tell me what you get out of this so far. You don't even remember. Strengthening connections. Write this in your phone. Y'all ready for this? How do you strengthen connections for who God's bringing in your life and who's already in your life? How does God do it? How does God do it? Strengthening. Y'all ready for this? You've got to learn to adjust. How adjustable are you? How many of y'all say I'm good at adjusting? I was not. You hear me? She just raised her hand and her daughter said, no, you not. Samantha, she's healing. Awareness. That's another one I'm adding. You got to know you need to change in some areas, right? So add awareness, add adjustment. Here's how you adjust. You ready for this? In the early years, how many of y'all got some good friends? How many of y'all got some good friends? Now put your hands down. How many of y'all say ain't got no friends? You got her. She's your friend. How many of y'all say you ain't got no friends? Okay, you got to be a friend to have friends, right? That means you got to let your walls down, because the Bible says one will put 1,000 on a flight, two will put 10,000 on a flight, right? So here's the key. To adjust, you have to learn to adjust by understanding that you can change ourselves, but we can't change our partner. But if you love the heck out of them, y'all hear me? You got to love them. When they walk into the room, yo, you got to stop talking to your man like this. You know the trash can's supposed to be taken out. And then slamming cabinets. Instead, you got to be like, baby, you are the sexiest trash can taker out I ever seen in my life. Because you got the power. That's called the ebb and flow, right? This is good for singles too. Y'all singles getting anything? Because God gonna bring your baby in your life. I promise you. You want to hear me? Listen, so you got to learn to adjust. Number 2, pruning. Say pruning. These are ways to get you ready and to also restore your marriages. Also to, you got to learn to adjust. This is even in friendships and at work. This is why some of y'all hate your job, because you don't realize it's an assignment. You got to pass it. So you got to learn how to adjust. Then pruning. Here's what pruning is. As life gets busier, a key to any relationship is prioritizing, especially your baby. You got to prioritize your relationship, which means you got to prune back in areas of your life in order to prioritize each other. Here's number 3, supporting. You got to know how to support. And y'all, the reason I'm giving y'all these, and you should be writing them down, is that you can take inventory this week. And you can start asking yourself, yo, I literally, at least once a month, I literally take inventory of myself. Like, how am I? Right? You got to support. Marriages need support network, which means y'all need to have people you can call and talk to, right? You got to have friends. You got to have older married couples. And then you got to learn from them, because we all are going to face challenges, illnesses, financial issues. She's going to be spending all the money and you're going to be mad. Instead of communicating, you're going to be ripping all the money out of the checkbook account. You're going to be trying to go to Kroger to buy groceries and can't get nothing because you never had a conversation in good spirit. You cannot wait to have conversations in relationships when you're mad. You hear me? You hear me? You cannot, she's so single, but she getting ready. You cannot wait until resentment has set in where you're looking at him, wanting to put your hands around his neck. He's snoring at night and you're thinking about getting a pillow and shoving it over his head. You can't get to that point. It's healthy communication. So you gotta know how to support. Here's number 4, renewing. You got to be willing to renew. Renewing, being prepared to talk about our own individual needs and desires. But you cannot wait until you've had enough. Because delivery is everything. You're like, I said it nice. I remember, y'all, when I was healing from my relationship and God said, girl, you got to forgive. I'm like, God, I've forgiven everybody. Like, I ain't ratchet anymore. I am so righteous. I still might be from the south side of heaven, but I'm coming. And I remember all of a sudden it dropped in my spirit. You've been praying for your ex to die with a train. I said, well, you didn't tell me how I need to pray for him. I'd be like, God, kill him with the train. And the Lord said, stop that, Kimberly. Get your heart right. You cannot go through life bitter and angry. You got to get your heart so softened that you are someone's escape and not their duty. And I began to lay hands on myself and literally say, God, forgive me, man. Let me love. I was intentional to the point where now I pray like crazy. It's been 25 years and I'm praying, believing God every day. Because when you get your heart right, it's the law of draw. God can bless you. Right? You don't wait for them. You get it right and let God use you as the miracle maker and worker in all relationships. Deal? So you got to have support. Then you got to renew, which means you got to talk about it, sharing how you feel. Communication kills assumption. Slow down for long enough to decide on changes that y'all need to make together. Right? Then the next one, you ready for this? Make time for each other. While you're single, date yourself. What does that mean? Getting yourself prepared for the one God brings in your life, because God did not give you the desires for a relationship without bringing that person in your life. So if you ain't got that relationship, why? And then begin to let God show you the areas so that you can get in position, right? Then the next one is nurture each other. You gotta nurture each other. You gotta nurture each other. What does that even look like? Nurturing involves seeking to meet each other's emotional needs for affection. Y'all know what each other's love language is? How many married people we got up in here? Come on, baby. She prophesied with her whole hand up. How many of y'all married up in here? Do y'all know your spouse's love language? He does. But y'all got to remember, my elders in this church have been married forever. They've been married 19 years. Then we've got Chris and Tiffany. They've been married 17 years. How long y'all been married, Danny? And 4 years. We got like some heavy hitters up in this house. Elder Arlene and 28 years. And Elder Cedric. I mean, I got some people around me showing me how it's done. And so in order to do that, you got to know how to nurture each other, and you can't do that bitter. Listen to this. In Genesis 2:24, it explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united as one. Now, the reason God gives us all of these stories is because he's teaching us the art of communication. You gotta know how to communicate. Then listen, then you gotta know how to listen. How many feel like you're good at listening? You're good at listening. Good at listening. You listen not to respond, but to understand. So you gotta be good at listening. Our aim in marriage and in dating should be to listen twice as much as we talk. I just need you to get to the bottom line. And God brought me somebody that loves to tell every detail. And my gift is learning to listen. Not to respond, but to understand. All right, here's the hindrances. Y'all ready for this? I'm going fast because I'm out of time. Here's hindrances that are messing up relationships. Y'all ready? Number one, disengaging. You disengage. Disengaging when you have a separate conversation going on in our head and we're not listening properly because of our physical environment, so we're disconnecting. How many of y'all feel like in your last, how many of y'all been divorced up in here? How many? Did you learn anything? I did. Like, I learned so much, man. And I made a point to learn so I wouldn't repeat. But I was a disengager. I would shut down. So disengaging, we have to have conversation where we're listening properly. Here's number two. Y'all ready for this? This is things that are tearing up your relationships. Reassuring, not allowing our partner to voice negative emotions. Number three, giving advice. How many of y'all giving advisors? A lot of time that spouse don't want to hear your advice. They just want you to listen. I don't need to hear, Kim. I thought I had to preach. And now I've learned that I don't have to speak, just listen. And be that ear. Even when I want to roll my eyes, I'll be like, I'm so sorry. We done? Like I had to learn to work on that and become selfless, which meant I had to pray over myself. So don't be giving advice all the time. Sometimes you just need to be a listening ear, right? Focusing on solutions rather than empathizing with our partner. What's stupid to you means something to them, right? You're like, get over it. Yo, I get over stuff so fast. Like I don't even get offended at nothing. You can be talking about me so nasty and I'll be like, I don't get offended. But with Lo, I have found that I need to listen and he don't shut up until I listen. He gonna make sure I hear it over and over. I'm like, I got it. He's like, over and over and over. And what I'm learning is God is using this relationship to get me prepared for other levels, right? So you can't just have solutions. You gotta empathize with the way they're feeling. Y'all ready for this? Another thing that's messing up your marriages and your relationships and still got you single, some of you, is you go off on tangents. It's so funny watching y'all by your spouses. Y'all like this. You go off on tangents, which means you take over the conversation with your own agenda. Shh. Here's another one. You ready for this? Interrupting. Come on, baby. How many, come on. Come on. How many of y'all interrupters? Let's talk about it. Look, everybody, I'm so proud of y'all. Online, just put up some emojis. Baby, am I an interrupter? Oh, Lord. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Working on it. Because I can't expect me from him. You cannot expect yourself from your person. So interrupting, failing to let our partner finish what they want to say. Listen. All right, listen. Here's 5 steps for reflecting and listening. Y'all ready for this? Try to put yourself in your partner's position. And then ask yourself, would I want them doing this to me? I do that all the time. And I even put myself like this. Would I still do this if Jesus was sitting right here? This is how God heals you. Try putting yourself in your partner's shoes. And here's number 2, acknowledge what they said. Tell them what you heard. And then ask yourself, is this really worth sleeping back to back tonight? Choosing your battles. Y'all, this is phenomenal even in dating because y'all gotta start out on a good foot, right? Then listen, here's another one. Ask if somebody just sent me a text and said, preach! They're not here, but they're watching online. Ask if your partner has said all they need to say. And don't do it like this. You done? You cannot do that. Some of y'all need to, every morning when you wake up, be like, come out! In the shower. Lay hands on your tongue. Are you done? No. Y'all, there ain't nothing in this world like having healthy relationships in your life that are functioning beautifully. I am an example of it. Where I went from nobody to now I got hundreds of friends. Because I made Kim get on her knees and talk to God. And to this day, I am that girl in that car. Come out! I will lay hands on myself in 2 seconds flat. Because I don't want to mess up good relationships that God has brought in my life because the enemy wants me to sabotage them. The enemy doesn't want you around somebody that pushes you to breakthroughs and not breakdowns. Because God is not in chaos and confusion. Well, what if I married Kim and it's hell? You do everything you can. Suck up your pride. Make some supper. Make Valentine's. Listen, men. If that woman tells you, I don't want to do nothing, it's okay. Don't listen to her. Do you hear me? Never listen to her when she says, don't even worry about it. I don't need anything. She is lying. All right? Tell them. I don't know why women can't just say, yeah, I would like you to take me to Longhorns or Cheesecake Factory. I ain't too good for Cheesecake Factory. In fact, I'll be fine at City Barbecue. Just be able to look in your eyes. Honey, he will be making reservations at City Barbecue, and there ain't even no reservations to be taken. Men are not that hard, is what I've discovered. Okay, y'all ready for this? And then here's the last one. Help them work out what they might need. Now, I already said don't be giving them solutions. Let them talk. But on the back end, if you know they're overwhelmed and going through something on their jobs, when they get home, put lipstick on the mirror. I sure do love you, man of God. Pray over him when he's sleeping. Don't be doing it like this. He waking up saying, dear God, what is going on? He waking up with a whole heart cross on his forehead of oil. How did this get here? Because you're like, come out. No, you got to do everything incognito. And it's all going to start with you being selfless and dying to your flesh. All right? Is this good? What y'all get out of today? What y'all get out of today? Now here's what we really got to do. Listen to this. Here, I'm going to end with this scripture. Proverbs 8:13. It says, spouting off before listening. This is New Living Translation. Spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish. Y'all know some of y'all got a fish on the back of your car because you ain't even representing Jesus. Y'all know it. Y'all so bitter. You stalking them on Facebook. Why you want to stalk somebody that don't want you? Why you care if they moved on? Get yourself well so God can bring you a blessing upon blessing. Hello, Amos 9:13. It says, God's decree said things are about to happen so fast. My head is about to spin. Blessing upon blessing. I won't be able to keep up. Stand up on your feet. Come on, say, this is my season where I'm getting myself in position in all areas of my life. You hear me? I'm coming back for everything the devil stole. Y'all know Joel 2:25 says that God is going to give you back everything the devil stole. That's even your own crazy mistakes. Because he gives you back restitution. Because if you learn in the process, you come out even more fierce. Y'all know the woman at the well had been married 5 times? She was sitting at the well at the hottest part of the day, embarrassed of her situation. And sitting at that well, Jesus leaves all of his posse and goes to the hottest part of the day with this woman. And he said, where's your husband? Covering. She said, I ain't got no husband. He said, I know you don't. You got 5 exes. And you're living with one that ain't your husband. But I'm sure he said it real gentle. But you know, she went ratchet on him. What you mean? He said, give me some water. Get your own water. You got 2 hands and 2 feet. Which is why she was single. And he laid hands on her. And he said, you're about to be healed because you didn't realize you were waiting for the 7th man to walk into your life. That's what God wants to do this whole month for you. He's the 7th man, baby. I don't know what your situation is or where you're at, but I can promise you, if you keep your heart open this month, you are going to literally advance from the pit to the palace. I'm telling y'all, I know without a doubt that God is about to bless you in every area of your life. He's going to bless you with clarity. He's going to bless you with peace. 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 That surpasses all understanding. I remember when me and him went out, I said, what's the most important thing to you? He said, peace. And so we got to get to that place in all types of relationships where we are God's peace for every person that comes into our life. Good? I want everybody to lift up your hands like this. Spouting off before listening. God, keep my mouth right. Come on. Say, Lord, if my mouth is bad news, I think of the negative before I ever think of the positive. I give you permission to to eradicate it out of me. And Lord, make me amazing in every way. Turn my flaws into flawsome. Turn my pain into a pulpit. Make me a disco ball, Jesus. Take all my broken pieces, put me back together again, and then show me out to the world. Devil,